This is the Money Radio Network.
Welcome to Marketing Money Mindset, where we bring you interesting true stories on how clever marketing ideas create money opportunities with a conscious mindset, producing impact and success. Together with marketing lover Elisa Sparks Lane from the Ellen Sparks Agency, the man from Mars business and life coach Brian Wood, and health and athletic performance expert Jen Graffice from QLife share their experiences on how success is so much more than creating cash flow. True success comes when you nurture your business, body, and brain in order to get the most out of your business and in life. Join the Triple M team on our journey to success. Ready, set, listen.
Good morning to the Shift Show. We had bet on how I would say that, and I think I got it out right. Definitely about transition today and playing that game and going from one thing to another and doing it well. And an art to that is Jennifer Johnson, because she had a career in, Jennifer, you want to tell us?
Engineering and global factory management.
And now
I'm a private chef.
Not only a private chef, but you're a whole organic chef that's caring about the environment, the sustainability, and people.
Dang good one, too.
That's right. We actually got to experience some of that wonderful food at an event, at a couple of events. Yes, Jen?
Yes.
Yeah, you were there?
I was.
Have you been?
I can tell you,
Brian
I was
was.
there, and I ate
think I'm
enough for
combining
you
two
and
events.
everyone else. So I have to ask right off the bat: how did you figure out how to cook like that?
Well, culinary school helped, and
Okay.
24 years of experience raising 3 sons who originally told me I was sucky at cooking, and which is why I went to culinary school, and just lots of practice and learning what I like, trying different things together. I don't like the same old things. I like to figure out different flavors that work well together, like figs and grilled cheese.
What was the worst thing that you ever made? The one that just
the failed fast?
Yeah. What is the biggest failure?
Oh, no.
It would probably be the day my kids told me that I sucked at cooking and I needed to go to culinary school.
What did you cook that day? What
I
was
made
it?
homemade macaroni and cheese.
That don't seem like it would be.
Was it
I
bad?
don't know. I didn't think so. They obviously said, "Mom, can I have the stuff in the box, please?"
Like, wow.
That's
So-
okay. Look what happened.
That's how we are.
Exactly.
And now you've one of your sons that actually works with you, too.
Yep. He does.
So obviously he must like what's going on.
He does. He gets free food, too, so you know what bachelors get.
That's right.
So I want to go back to that transition from corporate America to Master Chef. How did you find the courage to make that transition?
I think I saw you do a post this morning, Steve Harvey's Jump. I just jumped. One day I said enough's enough, and ta-da, here I am.
I love that.
And I enjoy myself. I am so happy. I worked at the same career for 25 years, same company, almost 20 years, and my kids were grown and moved away. I wasn't supporting anybody but myself, and I said, you know what? What's next for me?
So it wasn't even a matter of the fact that maybe you didn't care for your job. You were just looking for a change.
I loved my job.
That's what I thought you had told me.
Yeah, I love my job. I love the travel. I ran 7 factories worldwide. I got to take cooking classes in different countries and experience local food. It was a great job.
That's
So you were
awesome.
kind of transitioning slowly while you had that job. Not
Yeah.
that we're telling them now, but it doesn't really matter. But you were kind of having that vision throughout.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In fact,
Would you say it started as a hobby? Sorry,
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. So I was still doing catering and stuff and weddings for friends and family and different people that were close to me, parties and so on. In fact, after my kids moved out, my team was my tasting expert. So they said that they lost like 20 pounds after I left the company.
Oh, that seems a little sad, but wow. So you've got cooking classes, you have events, you have a Valentine's event, romantic
do.
day at Gwen Wine.
We are,
One of our
absolutely.
favorite friends there. We have the Entrepreneur Money Club that meets there.
What are you going to do with that event?
Oh, I went over and did a tasting yesterday with their olive oil and with their wine, and we have a pretty good menu coming out.
Some
Good
sweets?
menu coming out. Some sweet things, We're going to do probably vegetable. I think we're doing vegetable wraps with a little bit of their citrus, Myers lemon citrus olive oil glaze. Or I'll probably put a little drizzle on that. And then we're going to do a scallop with some cheesy risotto.
Ooh, I love cheesy risotto.
Well, a couple things. First of all, I'm a little disappointed in you that you didn't bring any samples for us.
I'm
One.
sorry.
All
You
right,
can
and then,
you can go to the event.
And then, don't be a troublemaker. And then back to your culinary school. How much of your education and your learning was connected to culinary school versus experimenting?
Experimenting.
Really?
Most of it, yeah. I mean, they teach you knife skills and sauces and all kinds of things that you need to know, how to spice things and so on. They teach you the basics, but really to branch out and do something different, you really have to try. You really have to put something different together. I mean, all great master chefs don't make meat and potatoes every day.
What's the most difficult thing to make?
For me, the most difficult thing for me to make would seem like it's the most simple, but because I like to do multiple things at one time, is to sit and do sauce, because you have to stir it constantly or whisk it constantly.
Just buy a can. I don't see the big deal, but okay.
You can
All
taste
right.
the big deal. Well, and it's whole organic food, so
Yeah,
you will
yeah.
also
I use all good
feel
ingredients.
the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's a big difference between pastured butter and non-pastured butter.
And what was your vision? On last week we talked about like vision. So what was your vision when you thought about being a chef, as far as what you saw yourself doing?
Oh, when I first quit and I came to do this, I had all these ideas of everything I wanted to do. And the best thing I did was to get a coach to help me get down to what is going to make me money. And then I can bring in these other vision ideas as to how I want to implement my eco-consciousness, how I want to teach people how to cook good, healthy food, because I don't think being whole organic means you have to taste like it's a diet, right? It can taste really good. I mean, the food you had, Brian, the food you guys have had, it's very yummy, but it's good for you too.
And it should. I mean, it should taste good and be good for you. I mean, you've created that and you've mastered that art.
Right. I mean, and even, I teach people how to pick the right fruits and vegetables. So if they go shopping on Sunday, the fruit and vegetables are still good on Friday or Saturday. So they don't have to throw them away, because I think it's a real shame that we have such a homeless problem. And we have 60% of our produce that we buy goes in the garbage, goes to the landfill.
And that's interesting you said that, because you also support a New Leaf, which is a homeless shelter. So you do cooking classes out of their kitchen.
Yep, absolutely.
On a monthly basis. And you've actually, I've been able to experience that with you, and it's such a wonderful thing to see these children that had no idea what salmon was and leave as salmon lovers.
Oh, yeah. Wait till Valentine's. They're getting a nice Valentine's. I'm doing a surprise dessert for them, but they did ask for strawberries dipped in chocolate, so we'll do that one. And we're doing a French menu.
And talk a little bit, because I know we've talked about it before, but talk a little bit about what you do at the homeless shelter with the kids and the families, because I think it's very inspirational, educational, and just such a great cause.
I basically teach them how to eat organic food or healthy food on a budget. So I tell them which foods typically come with the most chemicals or pesticides on them, and which ones they should pick as organic, and which ones they can probably go by the wayside on by choosing organic for their budget, as well as how to select larger quantities, including going to the powwow or going to wherever where they can donate $10 and get 60 pounds of produce.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, she was telling me about
I know,
that.
isn't that
It's amazing.
Did you hear about the powwow?
Yeah, that's incredible.
Like, there's no excuse not to eat vegetables now.
Exactly. Now you get seasonal, right? So it's whatever they have, but
you can make
good
do with
for
it,
your
right?
food, absolutely. And those guys, you get 60 pounds of food. One family can't eat 60 pounds of produce in a week.
It's a party.
So get 3 families together and go split it and get your produce.
Absolutely.
Jennifer, I want to ask you, so the reaction that you got from your transition into the corporate world, because that was a big leap of faith. That was the Steve Harvey jump. What was the reaction from your former employer and your circle of influence?
Well, shock. I would say those closest to me were the most surprised, and also probably not my best friends when I did it. They made me doubt myself a lot. And I will tell you that I figured quickly that I needed to get the people that were going to support me closest to me so that I would continue to go forward versus going backwards.
So if you had the chance to do it all over again, would you have jumped sooner, later?
I'd have jumped 7 years ago.
Okay. So what would you do to inspire someone else to jump that needs to do something different?
For me, honest to God, I wish I would have had a coach 20 years ago. I mean, I'm 51 now, but I wish I would have had a coach 20 years ago just so I would have had some guidance being a woman in a man's environment for where I worked in electronics and factories and so on. And then, honestly, I would have probably had a lot more courage, internal courage for myself versus being an advocate for others. So that's been my biggest in the past year or so, has been my biggest growth piece, is learning about myself and having internal courage for what I do.
Thank you so much. We're going to come right back with Jennifer Johnson, and she's also one of our sponsors this month, and I truly appreciate that. We're going to learn about weekly meal plans that you have. We'll be talking about that when we come back from the break.
I'm excited about that one.
Are you living someone else's version of success and happiness? Are you an athlete, former athlete, organization, or team interested in achieving results while enjoying the journey? Come to Mars, Myrtlewood Athlete Representation and Success Coaching. Certified professional life and business coach, certified agent with the NBA Players Association. Find us at marscoach.com. 602-733-4864, 602-733-4864. Faith and belief equals action and results.
Mom, where are my crayons?
I have them. I'm coloring my credit again.
What's Color My Credit?
Well, Color My Credit is a simple method I created to explain kind of a complicated financial document. We have a lot of those in our life. You'll grow and you'll see that you want to grow your money, but there's a whole lot of paper you don't understand. So what I do is try to color it and give it a method of understanding what you need to do to make it better. Are you ready for that?
Yep. For more information, call Elisa Glutz. Go to colormycredit.com.
Ringing in the new year means talk of growth and renewal for the coming year. Goal setting and strategic visions, that's what's dancing in the heads of successful leaders. At your next conference or meeting, let Frame the Message Inc. bring your visions to life in a colorful way. Traditional note-taking is so last year. Graphics are their wave of the future. So start the year off right with something sure to bring positive and productive change in 2017. Live graphics and illustrated videos by Frame the Message Inc. That's INK.com.
Jen Graffice QLife is a health and wellness company that inspires and educates clients and athletes in taking their abilities and teams to the next level. We empower young athletes to live out loud and harness all the true potential they have inside of them to be the best versions of themselves. At Jen Graffice QLife, the services include one-on-one fitness training, accountability coaching, guest lectures, athletic performance camps, and more. For more information, check out the website at www.jengraffice.com. Come find your Q. Are you getting the number and quality of clients your business needs? Do you feel like all your effort is going to waste? If so, then consider registering at IncomeAccelerationSummit.com. At this free event, you'll learn the fastest way to get high-paying clients by getting seen and heard by your ideal audience. The easiest way to do that is through speaking, webinars, and phone sales, and we'll teach you exactly how to use these strategies. Register today at IncomeAccelerationSummit.com and receive $800 in business-building gifts.
Are you known for skipping meals while on the go? Are you too busy to eat healthy? Does the thought of meal prep and food shopping leave you desiring a nap? Visit www.witnessingnature.net. Download the app and leave the healthy cooking to us. We provide organic food through personal chef services, meal plans, and cooking classes, prepared at your home or delivered so you can spend time with your valued family and friends. Call Witnessing Nature and Food at 480-813-9065. It's what's in the food that matters. Eat organic, soon at a gym near you.
Welcome back to Marketing Money Mindset, the place where clever marketing, creating money, and the conscious mind intersect. With your hosts, Elisa Sparks Lane, Brian Wood, Jen Graffice.
Welcome back. It's What's in the Food That Matters with Jennifer Johnson from Witnessing Nature in Food. And we're talking about my favorite subject, food. And healthy food at that. So it's definitely something that Jen Graffice is going to give me the thumbs up, because QLife is all about the health. And You do offer, because I know some of us have dietary issues and restraints, vegan.
I do vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free.
Nice.
Standard, paleo.
Paleo.
I have a lot of paleo friends. I typically eat paleo. I'm not a big bread person, but yeah.
So what made you develop the weekly meal plan program?
I just had a lot of people that talked to me about the fact that they really didn't have the time to shop. They didn't have time to cook because they have kids in school, or meal plans is that they'd like to cook, but they just sometimes don't know. You know, your kids come home and they go, "What's for dinner, Mom?" You go, "I don't know." So it gives them guidance and some ideas as to what they could have different every week.
Well, and do you think it saves people time so they don't have to worry so much and spend time with their family instead of the stress that sometimes, I know when you have more than one child or even one child, it can be a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's really hard to get out and get everything done with all the kids' activities, as well as you want to spend time with them. But if you go to the kids' activities, you're not really spending time with them. You're watching them participate in something else. So instead of going through the drive-thru, they can eat my meal boxes, are all organic, heat it up, and sit down and have some quality time with the family.
So you might be saving marriages, too.
I hadn't thought about that, but possible.
We had the new power couple.
If they like to talk to each other.
Last week, yeah, that's true. Or maybe they're going to have to now, but I'm sure they'll be supporting you as well. So tell us some more. What's happening in the news for you? What's up next? I know this year is going to be a big year for witnessing nature and food.
In the news.
Yeah, what's up for you next? Sustainability, any big projects?
How about our February Love Yourself project?
Oh, yes, we do. Yeah, so I picked this year. I picked a theme for every month. So this month of February coming up is love. January was it's a new year, right? I don't like that new year, new you, but it's kind of like just to kind of restart over for everybody and just get regrounded, and then pretty soon, next month it'll be December again. So because it just goes too fast as I get older. But, yep, we have our Love Month coming up. We have lots of Valentine's things going on. I do the monthly launch for Green Living magazine. I do the launch parties every month.
You were on the cover in November,
I was in
right?
November, the food issue, yes. It was part of my TED Talk.
That was the prettiest one I've ever seen.
Oh, thank
I'm going to give Dory some props for asking you to come on there. It was really such a beautiful connection, too. Like, it just made sense.
Jennifer.
Green Living, you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When you manage bigger events, so we attended one that you were running around taking care of everything. How do you manage that? Is it all you, or do you have a team, or how do you manage those bigger events?
No, you can't do anything alone. So okay. Yeah.
And where do you get your team from?
She gave birth to one.
Okay.
That is true. I did. But no, I just find a lot of good people. I found a lot of bad people too. That you have to work a little harder when you find bad people. But you keep the good ones. Keep the good ones. And I actually just found an assistant chef too. So he's not going anywhere. I'm going to hold on to him.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
How about the expense when you look at what we're talking about, eating clean and convenient and all those different things? Isn't that 10 times more expensive than the alternative?
The alternative, you mean going through the drive-thru?
Yeah.
Well, health is something that you can kind of look at this way. Either you feed your body good, healthy food now,
right, or
you're going to pay the doctor later. It's
right.
Entirely, you're going to pay now or you pay later.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've had lots of family members die of cancer because we grew up in that era where you did everything for everybody and you ate crappy food.
So stress in the process.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I always say what you put in, you get out, right?
That's a true statement,
if you're gonna feed your body like a trash can, that's what you're going to get, and you feed it like a temple, that's what you will get as well. So, yeah, with that February Love Yourself theme that she has, Jen and I have actually partnered up as well to do what we're calling the Jen Squared project, that will include exercise as well as a full-on weekly meal plan. So I am so excited about that. It's kind of a launch project for ourselves as well, but ultimately to get those boxes into my clients' hands as well. So I am really excited about that.
And
How about you, Jen?
I'm excited to get some working out done.
Right? So it goes hand in hand. That's the beauty of when you combine a healthy lifestyle. And for me as well, it actually, the love yourself part is actually also directed. It's a good thing for me to remind myself because with a mom of 2 kids running around and I get home at 6 or 7 o'clock at night and I need to cook as well. And so when we came up with this, I was actually so excited because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a way of me taking care of myself as well with my dietary needs. I'm gluten-free, dairy-free for the most part. So those dietary issues now, I'm so excited. Like for an entire month, I don't have to think about it. Jen's going to take care of it. I'm going to get my boxes and get my snacks and be able to just eat whole organic foods. And I am so excited about it. And on the flip side, she'll be able to exercise as well. So it's kind of a win-win, don't you think?
I agree.
Peace of mind.
I agree. And the other thing I love about Jen, too, is that, it's also mentally what you put in is what you get out, too. So she's about the whole package. She does all around mental, physical, internal. I mean, it's really great.
So when do we get to hear about this Jen Square online? Is this something that you can sign up online, or is this going to be on the app?
So we have our app, and we are working on the sign up online piece. We're having a couple of technical difficulties.
Love those.
But, it's always an adventure.
Fail fast.
Exactly. It's always an adventure. So working through a couple of the technical difficulties, and so it should be online pretty soon.
But if they don't want to wait,
they can just contact me. And
what's the best way to reach you?
Contact me at jennifer@witnessingnature.net or 602-625-5828.
That's nice. If you can't wait for the food, just call her. She'll make it for you and deliver.
Absolutely. I do that already. If I have 13 beta customers that I've been working with, and I've gotten 2 new customers in the past couple of weeks, so I'm a cooking machine.
And then also talk a little bit about your the packaging.
Oh, that's true. My eco-conscious piece, I'm not just about the food, I'm about what's good for the environment. So everything that I do is compostable or recyclable. So the boxes the food comes in are recyclable. You rinse them out, put them in the recycling. All the plastic is compostable. You can throw it in your garbage, and it will go to the landfill and break down fast.
And
if you compost, if you go to a company, I compost all of my food. Mm-hmm. So if you have a company that will compost your plastics as well, then you can throw them in there. But
and you teach the kids over at A New Leaf about that too.
I
which
do,
I think is
absolutely.
Great.
Yes.
You actually collect all the.
In December, we did absolutely. I collect all the produce, and I bring things we didn't use, and I bring them home and throw them in my compost. And then we did a learn how to use safe water in December. How to use water saving techniques. We've done our food selection techniques, and those guys pretty much. I ask them questions on how to select the fruit, and those little kids know. And so do their parents. It's really great. I love the fact that I get to do the kids and the parents together. That's a lot of fun.
So I asked you the hardest thing for you to make, the most difficult, most challenging. How about the easiest? If you were going to coach me and help me put on this impressive meal. Yeah. Other than not ramen noodles.
No, but this was fantastic. So at one of the cooking lessons that we did at A New Leaf, Jennifer Johnson came up with the almond cake with berries on top. It was so good, and she actually gives the recipe out to all the people that are cooking, which I thought was great. There's four
ingredients. Yep, equal quantities of butter, sugar, almond meal, and eggs,
and it's gluten-free.
Yep, absolutely.
Jen, you gotta try this.
I'm all in.
And you can, the reason why I like those 4 ingredients is I can decorate them with any kind of fruit, seasonal fruit. And I could add some pistachio flavoring or some hazelnut flavor, and it changes the dessert every time. I can put
now you're just teasing us.
Coconut yogurt on it, or you can put Coolip on it.
Now you're just teasing us. Okay, so tell us again, the website is?
witnessingnature.net.
Okay, and you can also find you on social media. So you're on Instagram,
Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook.
And you also hand out
YouTube channel. I have my YouTube channel. You can get
with
on there.
Recipes.
Yep, absolutely.
You have
see
recipes,
tips and tricks. Absolutely.
All right. Well, look her up if you haven't found her already, and look forward to tasting some of the food. Find her on Valentine's Day at Gwyn Wine. And grab my favorite Pinot. It's the warm hug.
Oh, I love the Merlot.
Hug. Oh, see?
The Merlot
I know.
for me.
What do you think, Jen? What's your favorite?
I'm going to go for the warm hug. You know that.
Yeah, it's the best, the Pinot.
I'm not asking the bartender for a warm hug.
You should. You should.
Ask
so
John
good.
for a warm hug.
We'll be right back.
Set the boundaries.
Oh, no. We always like that. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Marketing Money Mindset, the place where clever marketing, creating money, and the conscious mind intersect, with your hosts, Elisa Sparks Lane, Brian Wood, and Jen Graffice.
Welcome back. All right, so did everybody download the app, the new Witnessing Nature and Food app, and order your food? This is the way to go.
Got it.
I can't wait.
This is good. And I'm looking forward to the Jen Squared. Who thought of that
too.
name?
I did, actually, because it's Jen, and I don't know.
And you're square?
And we are squared away. Yeah.
Well, the boxes are square, right?
There you go.
There you go. Nice fit. Well, and we have a new guest in the quarter, and he seems tall.
Yeah. So in lots of ways. So we have David Jones on the set. And David Jones, co-host of the Phoenix Mercury wrap-up show here at Money Radio, 1510 AM, 105.3 FM.
Is he a character?
Oh, absolutely. You'll
Because
see.
he seems like he'd be a
Yeah,
character.
this
He's got
is
that little
trouble.
smirk going
There's
on.
no
Came in
question
here.
about
I
it.
already
Yeah,
see it,
yeah.
too.
It was like, this is my home.
But David is the founder. Well, first of all, their show is dedicated to charity and local sports. And I can also tell you that David is the founder of Positive Image Sports. And I'll say that the work that you do in the community is the real deal. So we all want to change the world, and we all want to invest in something that's going to be truly powerful. Every event that I've been connected to with David, it goes directly into the community. He drives change, and I have a ton of admiration for him.
That's awesome.
He's also a professional basketball player, too. That would explain some of the height things that you talked about.
So what comes first, the basketball or the height? When did you start playing?
The drive.
There you go.
Oh,
There you
I
go.
love it.
The drive. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming out. So what's up?
Oh, just super busy, doing some great things, surrounded by great people. Thank you for the accolades. But again, I really give and pay homage to those who have helped and supported my programs and events over the last 17 years. The Mercury and the Suns have been very instrumental in a majority of the programs that we've been able to bring forth to this community. So I'm just thankful to be here and thankful to be in the position that I'm in.
So one of the things I'm interested in is certainly your organization, Positive Image Sports, and I know you have a background in sports psychology, correct?
Correct.
So where did that come from, or I should say, what's the importance of positivity in sports and life and in general? What would you say?
You know, and I want to say this without it becoming a tearjerker, but I had a very rough childhood. You know, single mom, dad alcoholic, very abusive. You know, there was a thing that happened in my family when I was 12, and my father abused my mom. Police came, arrested my dad. My mom didn't want to go to the hospital. My grandfather found out, and he came and picked me up and took me fishing to get away from it all.
You were 12 at the time?
I was 12, and this was 1977, and my grandfather drowned while we were on that fishing trip in Ocean City. And we were fishing. He fell off the boat, and I sat out there for about 7 hours before the Coast Guard found me at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, keep in mind, 1977 is when Jaws came out.
Oh, my.
So I'm really just –
So you got a vivid imagination at 12.
Yes.
You're thinking, okay, this is going to be
Yeah, it was
good.
pretty tough. So from there, it took them a week to find my grandfather's body, which they found him. And the Redskins took me in. The Washington Redskins took me in. They ended up doing something on Channel 9. I remember being interviewed, and Harold McClinton played middle linebacker for the Redskins. He became my mentor, him and a wide receiver named Frank Grant. Well, 3 weeks after that incident, the Redskins played the Bears at RFK Stadium, and Harold McClinton, after the game, was on his way to pick me up. He stopped to help a lady change her car tire and was hit and killed by a drunk driver after the game. So here it is. I lost those two people within 4 weeks, really. And
Do you
it was
remember
difficult.
how your mind was at that time? Like
I was a
such
mess. I was a mess.
Did you have anyone mentoring you, or?
And that's where things started to change. I did. I had Mr. Ken Griffin, who was my PE teacher at Bel Air Middle School back in Maryland. He would bring me in the gymnasium, and he noticed that I had long arms and I was really, really skinny. I was pencil thin, and he'd roll the ball out. And he said, "You can kick it, throw it, however you want to show your frustrations, just do it." And I did that for a while, and next thing you know, he started teaching me basketball. And the crazy thing was, we were playing one-on-one about a week after that, and he shot the ball, and I turned to keep him from getting it and broke his leg.
Oh.
And so now I'm in tears, and he had to get rushed to the hospital. And next thing I know, the whole faculty became my friends. And so from there, you know, I always had this lifelong dream. If I ever had a chance to make sure another kid experienced what I went through, that's what I was going to do. And I continued to do that. So my drive in basketball was I wanted to put myself in a position where I could financially, physically, and mentally help other kids.
Well, that's
my story.
That's exactly what you're doing, too. So as much as you appreciated the people that came into your life, know that you are doing that times 1,000. So thank you for that. And another question comes to mind is, at any age, anyone would be overwhelmed by that. What kept you going?
Brian, guys, I wish I could tell you. If I could sit down and say it was this, it was this, it was this. I think if I could point a finger, it was the adults that understood my pain.
Right.
I think that's the best way for me to say it. There were adults that truly understood my pain. They knew what I had experienced. It was hard. It was really hard. And basketball became fun. So when all of a sudden you do something and you experience people cheering for you and your esteem is low as a young child, it counters it. It makes you feel so much better. And so, you know, I think that I remember the first basket I ever made. I remember that play like it was yesterday.
Tell us about it.
I was on the right side of the basket. Teammate threw me the ball, and I remember head faking a kid and went around him and nice little 5-foot shot off the backboard. And I remember looking up in the stands and everybody screaming and yelling, and I was like, okay, this might be fun. And it kind of took off from there.
Was there any thought in your mind like, that's it? That's all I had to do?
No. Would be nice to
get
think
all those
that
cheers,
way, but no. There were a lot of practices put in there, and I remember the game. I'm always been OCD. I'm a neat freak. Got to have everything in order, and so I recall setting my uniform out on my bed. I remember having a blue comforter on my bed. And I remember setting my blue and gold and white uniform on the foot of the bed, and I slept the long way so that I didn't kick my uniform off the floor on the floor. Now, I do remember that.
That's awesome.
So like a conscious effort going into that sleep too. Like just like that's wow.
I
setting up that day.
I ironed my socks.
Wow.
That's how bad I was.
So do you still iron your socks?
No, I don't do that anymore.
All right.
I don't iron my socks.
So how many years ago that from then to now would you say, like, do you find that your passion for these kids is exactly the same? Has it grown? Has it I think it's so fascinating because I work with kids as well, and it's like every kid is different and every group is different. But I was just curious because you've been doing this for a long time, right?
I'm also now a basketball official.
Okay.
To answer your question, it's 3 times more because I feel like there's more of a need now.
I agree.
Last night I was officiating a basketball game, and these were 5th graders, and the kid head faked another kid, and the kid went up to block the shot. The kid bent over, and the kid ended up falling on his back and fell and broke his arm. This happened just last night. I woke up at 3:30 this morning, couldn't go back to sleep.
I do the same thing.
I've been calling the director all day trying to find out where the kid is, which hospital, so I can go see him.
Right.
So that's never going to change. That's never going to change.
That's compassion.
So,
that's love for the sport and people.
Yeah.
And the what you went through made you a stronger person, enabled you to serve humanity better. But I thank you for that. And I also want to mention one thing, and just our thoughts and prayers go out to you. And we know that your godmother recently passed. So, Rose Lawrence, we do want to acknowledge and let you know that our thoughts and prayers are with you. I can also tell you that David is a man of faith, and I have had the David Jones experience, which I highly recommend at Greater Bethel AME Church. And he makes it fun, and he does a great job. So
talk about that. We need to talk about that.
I think you were at I preached. I'm a licensed ordained minister as well.
Is there something you don't do? This is a full day. No wonder you're busy.
The one that was Brian, as a matter of fact, someone just brought that up to me like 2-3 days ago. I preached a message about shoes. And I had about 12 different types of shoes, and I talked about how we're all made in God's image, but we all have different gifts and talents, and how we could serve. And I started out with the flip-flop shoe and talked about how the flip-flop has very little on the bottom, no covering on the top, easy to break up, tear apart, and those are flip-flop Christians who go from churches to churches searching for different denominations. Another one was I used the penny loafer, and I talked about how people, you can polish them up, and they pretty much go with anything and everything, but they have no value to the church that they're in, and then they devalue themselves even more by placing a penny in the penny loafer. And those are people who are just in church that are just lazy. I talked about the Timberland boot, on how the boot protects the entire foot. It's hard to penetrate. Some people come to church all the time, but yet they don't change who they are because you can't penetrate them. They're so thick-skinned that the message is not just sinking through. And I had, I can't think of tennis shoe. I think I talked about the tennis shoe, which is better known as the sneaker, that sneaky person who's running around the church starting problems and creating issues. And yeah, so
all right, we're going to have to come back with the rest of the shoes because I want to get to the high heel. Yeah. I'm hoping that's going to come next. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Are you known for skipping meals while on the go? Are you too busy to eat healthy? Does the thought of meal prep and food shopping leave you desiring a nap? Visit www.witnessingnature.net. Download the app and leave the healthy cooking to us. We provide organic food through personal chef services, meal plans, and cooking classes, prepared at your home or delivered so you can spend time with your valued family and friends. Call Witnessing Nature and Food at 480-813-9065. It's what's in the food that matters. Eat organic, soon at a gym near you.
Graffice QLife is a health and wellness company that inspires and educates clients and athletes in taking their abilities and teams to the next level. We empower young athletes to live out loud and harness all the true potential they have inside of them to be the best versions of themselves. At Graffice QLife, the services include one-on-one fitness training, accountability coaching, guest lectures, athletic performance camps, and more. For more information, check out the website at www.jengraffice.com. Come find your Q. Are you getting the number and quality of clients your business needs? Do you feel like all your effort is going to waste? If so, then consider registering at IncomeAccelerationSummit.com. At this free event, you'll learn the fastest way to get high-paying clients by getting seen and heard by your ideal audience. The easiest way to do that is through speaking, webinars, and phone sales, and we'll teach you exactly how to use these strategies. Register today at IncomeAccelerationSummit.com and receive $800 in business building gifts.
Mom, where are my crayons?
I have them. I'm coloring my credit again.
What's Color My Credit?
Well, Color My Credit is a simple method I created to explain kind of a complicated financial document. We have a lot of those in our life. You'll grow and you'll see that you want to grow your money, but there's a whole lot of paper you don't understand. So what I do is try to color it and give it a method of understanding what you need to do to make it better. Are you ready for that?
Yep. For more information, call Elisa Glutz. Go to colormycredit.com.
Living someone else's version of success and happiness? Are you an athlete, former athlete, organization, or team interested in achieving results while enjoying the journey? Come to Mars, Myrtlewood Athlete Representation and Success Coaching. Certified professional life and business coach, certified agent with the NBA Players Association. Find us at marscoach.com. 602-733-4864, 602-733-4864. Faith and belief equals action and results.
Ringing in the new year means talk of growth and renewal for the coming year. Goal setting and strategic visions, that's what's dancing in the heads of successful leaders. At your next conference or meeting, let Frame the Message Inc. bring your visions to life in a colorful way. Traditional note-taking is so last year. Graphics are their wave of the future. So start the year off right with something sure to bring positive and productive change in 2017. Live graphics and illustrated videos by Frame the Message Inc. That's INK.com.
Welcome back to Marketing Money Mindset, the place where clever marketing, creating money, and the conscious mind intersect, with your hosts, Elisa Sparks Lane, Brian Wood, and Jen Graffice.
Welcome back. And we are on the subject of one of my favorite subjects, shoes, with David Jones from Positive Image Sport. All right, so we left off with the penny loafer. We're going into the sneaker. You take it from there.
Okay.
What was next?
The next one that I brought up was, I talked about the high heel.
Yes.
The stack heel. And the stack heel, I think the example that I used was sometimes people in church want you to perceive them being bigger than they really are. Mm-hmm. And sometimes having that heel on makes you taller in stature when really you're still right down there with everyone else. So that was my thing. When I preach or do anything with kids, I try to make it fun because it's easily remembered.
Relatable.
I want to give you some type of physical example so that it's something that you will tell someone else that will remember it.
And you paint the picture. It's almost,
right.
It was so, that was so simple to see that.
Like, as a friend of mine, I'll say her name, Gloria, I call her the boot. So she
Why the
heard
boot?
that sermon because she's hard to penetrate. You can tell her something and it just does not go through. And so whenever I see it, I don't even call her by her name anymore. I say, hey, boot. And so she laughs and is like, yeah, okay, fine, boot. So, yeah. So
what inspires you? Do you do all your writing? Is this something that you do regularly, or is that something you've always done?
I honestly shoot from the hip. I don't do many notes.
So winging it. We were talking about that earlier.
My radio show. I'll have my commercial ads. That's it. That's
me. I freak them out every time.
But that's why you show up the way you do, so authentic and so sincere, and that's why people gravitate, and that's why you drive so much change. I want to talk a little bit about basketball, even though this stuff is more important. Tell me about the play. You've played with legends, against legends, and with legends. Who was the toughest?
Gary Payton, by far.
Really?
Yeah, by far. Okay. Gary Payton. Dana Barrows was very challenging as well because he was so quick. Mm-hmm. But Gary Payton talked to you the whole time, and I'm not a talker. Yeah. Back then I wasn't. I was really quiet. But he was pretty much a talker.
So he tried to get in your head then?
No, he did.
No,
he
really?
did. You give credit where credit's due. Yeah, you're not going left, and so I would think go right, just because he said you're not going left.
Right.
So, but I was a rookie, so it was things that you were learning.
Did you go back and thank him? Because those are lessons that really take on to real life as well.
But he's the type of person you couldn't thank back then, because as great a player as he was very arrogant, and
so he was a high heel.
Yeah, he was a high heel.
He was a high heel.
Look at you, see? I think you're going to remember this forever.
I loved it.
That's good.
Hey, one of the things we're really fascinated with mindset, and you walked us through that, and the transition. Your radio show has been very successful, and now it's over 4 years, right?
Three.
Okay, 3 years, and your partner in crime, Adrian Williams-Strong, have done exceptionally well. You transitioned really well, success on the court and success off the court. How did you do that? How did you accomplish that?
Let me use an example. Do you have any idea how the microwave works?
No.
Exactly. You have no idea behind the scenes how much mess I've had to go through in order to get it from point A to where we are now. And people that see the success, like we just had Steven Seagal on the show. Yeah. And having Steven come on the show, getting him there, and me doing the background information on him. Now, we're friends, so it's easy from, hey, Steve, A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, Dave, say A, B, C, D, E. That's fine. But the background stuff and putting all this stuff together is which you guys you're going through that. I know you are. You have to be. There's no way to avoid it. It's just I call it growing pains. The transitional part for me was easy because, again, for whatever reason, I don't need notes. You can tell me something and I'll commit it to memory. I'm one of those that I could sit. Now I'm going to tell y'all something. Don't laugh at me. My favorite TV show is Gunsmoke.
Wow. Old school.
That's awesome.
Gunsmoke. I will put Gunsmoke on somewhere between 8 and 9:30 every night. I watch 2 or 3 episodes on Netflix. But by the time I get to the 3rd episode, I couldn't tell you anything happened in the first 2. The reason for that is I'm thinking about my day the next day before I wake up the next morning. So 3:30 this morning, I'm preparing for your show mentally. 5 o'clock, I'm watching Gunsmoke up until 7:30 again in the morning. That's my routine.
Well, it's really interesting because that applies to life after sports. The athletes that I've interviewed, the ones that have been most successful, like you, they had a plan, right?
Yeah.
And they created that plan, whether it was listening to Gunsmoke or what, but they had a plan. The ones who struggled and have to get to a different place, they struggle with the idea that I'm no longer a ball player. That was my identity. What do I do with my life? I'm 25 years old. Now what?
I just had this conversation with one of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we talked this morning, and he was saying, he's at the end of his rookie contract, get ready to start, figure out what he's going to do. He thinks he's going to get re-signed, but what's the plan? And I asked him, why are you thinking about that now? That should have been your last year's conversation with you. And you hear that from a lot of athletes and that's one of the things that we work with through Positive Image Sports, getting these athletes to understand sooner or later the gray hair is going to start to show and you're going to have to start to change your lifestyle. Don't wait until it starts to change. Start to prepare for it before that. And so, I was blessed 2 years before I retired from basketball. I received a grant from D.C. Housing Authority. And it was for $151,000. Wow. And I had the Redskins, different players contacted me. I want to be involved. Some of them did it for pay. Some of them didn't want to be paid. But that's when we started having conversations. What are you going to do when the air is depleted from the football? You've got to have a plan B and C. What is that?
What's fascinating about that whole mindset thing, the things that you learned on the court, and the things that these guys learned on the field, that's transferable. But when you show up in the wrong mindset, you don't see it.
No.
Right? All the teamwork, the work ethic, all the things that you did to get that applause and that recognition and motivate you and keep you going, which eventually led to you serving the community, you wouldn't have seen any of that if you just had that victim mentality or you had that conflict, it's everyone else's fault mentality.
Do any of you all know how difficult it is to receive that applause for so many years and then one day it's gone?
Yes.
I mean, I look at Kobe Bryant and how difficult it was for him to retire from the game. So from 16 years old, people applauded, yelled, screamed, wore his jersey, did all of these things. And all of a sudden, it's time to let it go. It's difficult. And those who are on the outside don't think about that for the athlete.
And it doesn't even matter. I mean, and you're talking about very high-profile players, but I have a client right now who was a kicker for Boise State, and then he decided football wasn't his thing. And so not only did he no longer be a kicker, but he switched colleges. So he went from BMOC on campus to nothing, to now struggling and addicted to drugs and other things because he could not find his identity. And it's very fascinating to see that, because they lose their identity when they tie it only to maybe I should have done this. I'm like, but it wasn't your passion. You have to have a plan B, and you have to get back up and keep moving forward. And we keep searching for what his passion is to be able to have him move forward. And
the thing about that is having that. Like, I could ask David now, and I know his answer before even asking him, what do you miss the most? What do you miss the most about playing ball?
You're doing better than me, man, if you know my answer.
I was just going to say, what do you think his answer is?
Write it down.
Okay, well, I'll jump in. I would get most people, when I start with that question, they said the locker room, which is the community, which is – I know that I know you got my back, and no matter what, I've got your back.
It's up and down with that, because college, absolutely. College was so much fun. My teammates in college were fabulous. My high school teammates, absolutely. In the pros, it's different because it's for money. So your mindset has changed. So the people who are supposed to be your teammates, you're now competing against in practice for more money. For more honor, for more prestige. And that takes some of your love for my teammate totally out of the picture.
Messes your head up.
Yeah, and so I played in Europe, the Netherlands. So when I went to the Netherlands, there were only 2 Americans allowed per team. They hated us. Because we made the money, and if we were injured or didn't play, people didn't come and watch the game. So they're like, we're practicing just like you, but we don't get anywhere near. We walk in a restaurant, hey, his dinner's on me. My Dutch teammate sitting there, what about mine? You know, and so it creates division. You know, once money gets involved, it creates division. If you look at college sports right now, people are starting to bump heads because athletes in high school want to go play in the pros. They don't even want to go to college anymore. But why is college stepping up saying, you have to? Money.
Big money.
Yeah. So if you're talented and you're coming out of high school, the colleges are saying, we lose CBS and ABC commercials because you're going straight to the pros. We've got to put in a rule to change that. We need you to help us make money here. So all these things have changed, but nobody's thinking about the athlete.
I was just going to say that. So do you feel like once you get to that level, then the passion starts to go away because of that mindset? And
Absolutely. Unless you're driven by the money.
Right.
Unless you're driven by the money. Yeah.
I've got to share at some point. I don't know if we have time now. I haven't played against Gary Payton, the glove.
Okay.
But I did play against someone else, and I can talk about that if we have time.
Oh. Yeah. We'll come from Mars. Come from Mars, and we'll see if we have time.
All right.
Tell us what it is, that transformation.
Yeah, well, here's what we're going to talk about today. And only on Marketing Money Mindset will you find quotes from Sade and 50 Cent in the same message. All right? In Sade's song, By Your Side, she indicates you are so much better than you know. Now, think about that. You are really doing good, really doing some special things, but you were designed to be even greater. Much like the gremlin or inner critic that tells us you're not good enough, limiting beliefs can prevent us from achieving our potential in business, athletically, and in life. Don't accept the wrong thoughts or limitations, as they can lead to the wrong emotions or feelings, which can deliver the wrong results. 50 Cent, hate it or love it. I look back on life and think, God, I'm blessed. We're the best on the planet, so forget the rest. I'm here to tell you that you are blessed, and there's no one better on the planet than you. And if you're in a room where people are trying to convince you otherwise, find another room.
Absolutely.
Wow. Or a different shoe.
Wow.
Thank you,
really
Mr. Jones. Any final touches you want to send us off with on this one?
I'm honored to be here. I thank you guys so much.
this
I
time.
am praying God's hand over you guys. You're in great company. This radio station has treated me great.
Yes, we love it.
Known him for a while, so again, I'm honored and very thankful that I'm here.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
all
for
do.
coming.
Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
It
it.
was really great. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Marketing Money Mindset Radio Show. Tune in Saturdays at 8 a.m. and remember to keep your dreams big, your purpose bigger, and enjoy the ride.
This is the Money Radio Network.